live. It's live. We're live. And it looks like more sunshine, please. Jim is in the house. Hi, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
So I'm gonna let Lena pick where we were talking because she was talking about NFL licensing, and then Al's got a story about Kentucky Derby. So Lena, finish.
So backstage, we were kind of talking about this email that Disney has sent out, and we aren't sure if it's just to creators or if it's to everyone with My Disney Experience, but it's terms and conditions. And I was telling them that Hillsborough has one of the top 10 arts and crafts fairs in the U.S., and there were these guys in like suits. And summer in the in Kansas, even in September, is pretty warm. And I was like, weird, but they were actually they were lawyers on behalf of the NFL, and they were going up to booths and they were writing in business names and handing them court orders that they could confiscate all money and all NFL themed items, because if you do not have proper licensing, you cannot sell. And it was the couple of the businesses tried to come back and put it on the craft fair, and they said, nope, you can't put it on us. It says that we are not liable if you do not have proper licensing. That is on you to get, not on the craft fair. So it was a pretty interesting end of the year last year.
Okay, Val, do you want to tell your Kentucky Derby story?
It's a Kentucky whiskey story, not a Kentucky Derby story. If you want.
Go for it.
Okay, so
yeah, go for it.
So my mom is from Western Kentucky, and they go back all the way to like pre-Revolutionary War. Like, you know, they were in Kentucky for hundreds of years. And she was actually one of the few people that left Kentucky. But so Kentucky whiskey, Kentucky bourbon, it's like in my heritage. My relative, William Castleberry, who fought in the Revolutionary War, he had a whiskey still that was worth more than his entire house and farm put together. But I can't drink whiskey. And the reason I can't drink whiskey is because when I was 23 and it was Christmas and we went to Louisville to be with my uncle and my cousin had just turned 18 and he had just moved out of the house. So he was like, Val, come spend Christmas Eve at my house. Then we'll go back to Dad's in the morning. I'm like, okay. He talked me into buying him a gallon of Maker's Mark, right? And yeah, I'm 23. He's 18. He had all his friends over. They had a rocking party. I got the sickest. Like, I mean, I'm drinking my little Russian julep now. Like I've always drank, but I don't like getting drunk. Do you know what I mean? That's who I am. I got so drunk that night. I spent all of Christmas Day puking up whiskey, and my mom was so mad at me, and I cannot touch any whiskey, any bourbon, anything like that ever since then. So that's my little Kentucky bourbons, Kentucky whiskey story.
I will say moonshine I can take one or two sips and then I'm sick from it. Like I'm not talking drunk, I'm talking throw up sick.
Yeah.
So in case you're confused in the chat, today is actually Kentucky Derby Day, and it's virtual Kentucky Derby Day because there's no Kentucky Derby right now. We wanted to celebrate it by wearing big hats. I don't have a hat, but I kind of decided to match Lena with her very ocean vibe, cruise vibe. So I did my...
You guys have the summer thing going. Yeah.
Cruise vibe ears. So our talk is not necessarily Kentucky Derby related unless we get the notion to talk. It's just us chatting, which is why I did name this the Kentucky Day Disney YouTuber chat. What we were chatting about backstage was an email that most of us received from Disney about some services and conditions. And I haven't read all the way through it, but I have read quite a bit of it. And it's, from my perspective, it's saying that any creator, meaning YouTube, ear creator, purse creator, whatever, if you don't have a license, they can stop and desist. They can have you stop and desist. But when you're reading more into it, they even say, most of the time we don't do this, but if we see that we like a pair of ears that you're making as your own, ear creator and then we copy it, you cannot sue us. But we can turn around and say, you can no longer make these. The likelihood of saying you can no longer make these is probably very low. The only time I can think that they would say you can't make these anymore is if that seller decides to try to sue Disney for that. And the whole point of that is that yours is Disney's. Just because you're being creative and got a twist onto your ears that Disney has not thought of doesn't mean that they can't just take it. They don't have to take it. They don't have to pay you royalties. They can take it. And I think the reason they updated their terms and conditions for that is probably because small shop creators were getting angry and maybe either petitioning or trying to sue or something. Disney's like, hold up, you can't. This is ours. And it same goes where it even mentions like media. So if we were to say doing for products that come to us from a shop, like I don't know, gifts from Mickey or something like that. And if we were to say anything really, Disney could say, hey, I don't want to have that up. I want you to take it down. They probably wouldn't. However, if you were to go record Happily Ever After, which I have done, live streamed it actually and posted it, I have a copyright claim on that video. They can actually say, I want you to remove it. Whether they will or not, I don't know. But there's a copyright claim on it. So anytime someone sees a video, if I were to make money on that, I'm not monetized right now, but if I were to be monetized, if I were to that, I wouldn't get that money. It would go to Disney. And that
you might be getting money on it, even though you're not monetized. I'm sure they're monetized. So do you know what I mean? If any money is coming in from your videos,
commercial coming in.
Yeah, no commercial. Sorry. Can I ask a dumb question? Interrupt for a sec.
No such thing as a dumb question.
I don't know if I want to comment on the comment thing. I don't know where to type.
That's because
because we're in it. We don't.
You'll have to. No, I can type because I'm the one that has the live stream. But for you, you can pull up another window and go to YouTube and go to the actual live stream.
It's okay.
Put it on mute. Pop out the chat, so you can just pop out the chat, and the chat's right there, and you can type. That way, you'll be able to see it and talk.
Right.
Or you can do it I do mine from my phone.
So I don't understand at this point in time why Disney is not putting more merch on Shop Disney, because there's so much.
They don't have it. They don't have it.
You think it's not being produced? Because I'm sure
it's not coming in. It's not. It's stuck over in China.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I was actually wondering the same thing. They keep a few new things out there, and I'm like, more because they had
stuff designed all the way through the spring. You know they did, right? So they probably had a huge lineup to go out. Just it's not coming out.
Right. But what the problem is that you've got several things. Christy's frozen. You've got the trade wars, not to get into politics or anything, but you've got trade wars. But then you've got the fact that the U.S. isn't allowing shipments into the U.S. And so Disney's having to roll with what they...
Why aren't they putting it...
Are you okay, Christy? She's frozen, isn't she?
She's frozen.
Okay.
We're back. We're back. I was like, oh, no.
Some shipments, but they were coming in.
We're like, Christy's like...
It's the connection. Working from home, because like both my husband and I are working from home. We're not working today, but we've definitely used a whole lot of the bandwidth up, and my kids streaming all day. It's gotten kind of bad. And I think everybody is on the internet way more. It's just all of that.
It is.
Oh, Kelly's in chat.
Yeah, hi, Kelly.
Hey, Kelly.
Hey, Roxana.
Hello, Mr. Perez.
We were watching Endgame last night, and it stopped. Like, the internet died at this critical moment, and we were just all sitting there like, come on.
I love that movie, too. It's one of my favorites. I think my favorite part in all of the Avengers movies is when Captain America picks up hammer, and Thor's like, I knew it. Because, I mean, other than Loki, Captain America is my favorite. And I guess, like, you have to have a favorite hero and a favorite villain. So
Yeah.
Captain America is my favorite hero.
Hey, Carolyn, it's my friend Carolyn.
Hello, Carolyn.
Hi, Carolyn. It looks like we had 7 in chat. It looks like we've got 6, probably because we got, like, the whatever held up or whatever you want to call it. But
so we just finished watching all the Marvel movies in order. And the funny thing is, I thought I had watched them all as they were coming out, and then a few I'd watched again. I'd never seen Age of Ultron, and I thought I'd seen it. And so when we watched it, I was like, that explains who she is. That explains who he is. That explains why this, that, you know.
That happened to me too with Age of Ultron. I was like, did I miss one? And I'm a huge Marvel fan.
Yeah.
And I was like, I must have missed one. And I had not watched that one. I mean, that was like a year or so ago, but I was just like, what's going on? Why is it, where do these characters come from? And I hadn't watched that one.
Yeah. No, I think when that first came out, you know, I have 2 sons. So at first I was going to Marvel movies like for my boys, you know what I mean? And then I would say in the last 3-4 years, I've been as excited or more excited than they were, you know what I mean? So my kind of Marvel fandom has grown since then. But
yeah,
I'm not a huge Marvel person, so I haven't seen any of the Marvel movies.
She laughed at the idea of it order because in that order it came out, or the order people try to make it in chronologically. I rewatched them in the chronological order rather than the order came out. And one of the movies, we'll change the subject in a minute since Lena is not a huge Marvel fan, but one of the movies that I thought I would not like that I actually really, really enjoyed was Captain Marvel. I did not think I'd like it, but I really, really liked it. Because I was like, Captain Marvel can't beat Wonder Woman. And yes, I know I'm crossing universes here. We've got Marvel and DC, but I really liked it.
Yeah, and I don't think she beats Wonder Woman, but she's pretty darn cool.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, we watched them in order they came out, not in chronological order. But
okay.
You know.
I watched them in chronological order. But if you notice, Disney no longer has a relationship with Spider-Man.
Right.
And they actually took even those Spider-Man movies off Disney Plus. They're not out there anymore. Which I was like, what the crap? They're your movies. You can still have them, right? Unless it's some sort of agreement they had where they could no longer have them.
It may be an agreement with Sony.
Yeah.
Oh, we still get to watch the Spider-Man in Paris movie or whatever that was. We did. No, not Homecoming. The one after Homecoming.
Homecoming.
We watched Homecoming.
No, Far From Home.
Far From Home. Sorry. Yay.
Very confusing titles.
Okay, so new non-Marvel subject.
Don't worry about me.
What movies are you guys watching a lot of movies or no?
I'm working from home, so I don't really watch a lot of movies. I didn't even get caught up because back in February when all of my TV shows were going on, well, January, February, I had Girl Scouts. So I even got so far behind on my TV shows that they fell off because they only have like 9 shows that's recorded and I was 20 shows behind. So now I'm going to have to wait till all my TV shows come out on Netflix before I can catch up on any of them. So yeah, I haven't watched anything really. I really do want to rewatch Gilmore Girls because I do that every year and haven't. I think up making, so there's a place called Arrington Vineyards close to where I live. It's owned by Kix Brooks, like from Brooks and Dunn.
Brooks and Dunn.
Yeah. And it's a really nice vineyard. My best friend here loves that. I'll make like a girls' day and we can finish some of Gilmore Girls and then go to the vineyard because it just reopened yesterday. So
that's awesome.
Have you guys reopened? Has your states done any of that reopening of things?
I'm in Kansas. Go ahead, Lena. What?
Kansas did. It officially starts tomorrow, but a lot of people started yesterday. Like several people were having block parties last night and all kinds of things. So, it's supposed to be, 10 or more. Like there's 4 phases or something, and people just kind of went, "Yeah, no, that's okay. We'll just do what we want. Thanks."
I'm really
Well, I think
nervous, honestly. I'm really worried about it. And, my uncle almost died, and I just watched him go through that. And I feel like we've got a long way to go, and we've got to be super cautious, so I don't care how open we are. I'm going to do what I feel is right. And that's sort of like,
Yep.
They talk about quarantining, like figuring out who's on your team for quarantine. So I'm slowly seeing some of my good friends like in the yard, you know what I mean? Like slowly, I just want to slowly up our social lives again and not just run out to a party kind of thing,
Yeah,
So
I think for people in general, they're just doing whatever, but the shops and stuff, they actually have to abide by it, or they can get fined. The company I work for works above a mall. You know how like you'll have a mall and then there's upper levels that are businesses. We work above a mall, but the mall is shut down, and it says it's a mall. And the only stores that can be open right now are stores that are essential. Like we have Bath and Body Works can be open, but they decided to close. But we also have a place called Buff City Soap, which you've probably seen my videos before on that. They are allowed to open, but they cannot be open before 11 a.m. and they have to close by 5 p.m. So they have to abide by those rules, and that means including the businesses. So if we were to actually be at the office, we wouldn't be able to 11 and have to close at 5, and that's just their rules. So I'm imagining those rules are still going to be in place. It's just going to be, it doesn't have to just be essential places anymore.
Yeah. So you're still working from home at this point, though.
Till June 1st, and then once probably about a couple of days before June 1st, they'll decide on how to do it.
Gotcha.
So Nicole's in phase 1. The county capital, phase 1, May 12th. Till then, we are still under lockdown.
I'm sorry. I'm pretty excited because they're actually taking down all the caution tape from our park on Monday. So I can go swing at the park again. You don't realize how much you enjoy going to the park and swinging until you can't do it. And like you can still like walk through the park or for fitness, but you're like, will anyone know if I actually go under the caution tape and go swing? Because that was this close to doing it, let me tell you.
I'm so excited that they're going to open. Like we always go camping. Not always.
Are you there? Are you frozen again?
She's frozen again.
Yeah. Bring your hand sanitizer when you go swinging, just to be safe, because I think kids are about the least careful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know we're actually pretty lucky in the county that we live in Kansas. We actually only had 5 cases of the crazy.
Wow. See, I'm in downtown Atlanta basically, and we had 1,000 new cases.
But we tend to go camping around this time when it's not too hot, and they're going to be.
She's catching up, I guess.
She's catching up.
Yesterday, there were 40 deaths at 1,000 new cases in Georgia. That's like just yesterday. And so I'm just real cautious. I don't want to land in the hospital,
I will be flying through Atlanta in 126 days. I am very excited.
Nice. Christy's back. Where are you going, Lena?
Or Universal Orlando.
Nice.
Hopefully. Crossing our fingers.
Yeah.
That is the goal. That is the hope. But between now and then, you never know what's going to happen. So.
Right.
What was that date? Because apparently I got booted off my own stream because of my
What did
connection.
you do wrong, Christy? That Yeah, Christy.
100 days or something. Okay, wait. No, I got it. Our
fingers are crossed that we will get to go September 5th. We're hoping to go for opening of Halloween Horror Nights, but there's also been no announcements about Horror Nights. And if you don't follow it, I know they're normally like this time last year we had 3 or 4 houses already announced. but they've been showing pictures that they are working on it and stuff. But it's like, give us something. Like, their buy one night, get one night free tickets are on sale, but people like in the groups that I'm in are like, we're holding off buying tickets because there's been no houses announced and there's no mazes announced and nothing's been announced. And this is the 30th year for Halloween Horror Nights, and it started out as Fright Fest. And if you like that kind of thing, Expedition Theme Park has a really good history of Halloween Horror Nights, where it started out as Fright Fest, as like one night, and so on. And a cool fact that I learned from them is that Disney actually did not start doing Mickey's Not So Scary until after Universal started doing Halloween Horror Nights, because it was so popular over at Universal.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Go ahead, Christy.
They usually feed off each other. One will start something, and the other one will. So go ahead.
I really want to go to Mickey's Not So Scary this year, and I think we're going to try to go at the end of August. And I keep debating, like, do I book the reservations or not? And part of me is like, are they going to open? Although I think, one of the discussions is that they might open with smaller capacity. And I was thinking, well, if I have a resort booked and I have tickets booked and they're doing smaller capacity, then we're in. Do you know what I mean? And the people who are going to show up that day are not in. And then that would be awesome to go to a park that's only half full. You know what I mean?
That is actually what Sam and I were talking about, because next October 1st is the 50th anniversary of the Walt Disney World. And Sam and I were talking last year about the fact that we bet that like, and this is totally like theory, nothing, Disney hasn't even said how it's going to work next year. Heck, we don't know what's going to happen in the next 24 hours with them. But I can see them, because that day is going to be so popular, because everyone will want to be in the park on the official 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World, that they will limit it to resort guests. I can definitely see them doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's one thought.
Hi, Christine.
My trip is supposed to be in February. I haven't gotten it planned yet, but I will say I keep looking out on the website, and I usually go through my travel agent, and I would still be going through my usual travel agent. But the website doesn't even have January dates open yet, and normally they have they have them out about 360 days in advance, and you can't even book January.
You can book a room only for January, but the problem is that if you decide you want a package, you have to cancel that reservation and then wait until the packages come out for an actual package if you want to add tickets and dining and all that kind of stuff. So it's a mess sometimes dealing with, because they're two different systems in their computer system. Get it together and merge the systems. That's all I got.
Yeah, that's what I did, because I booked, I think it was 450 days in advance in 2018 for our 2019 trip, and we did a room-only booking, and then changed it to a package, and then changed it to another package and switched resorts when we got free dining.
Cynthia, you're not going to find an open post office because it is after 12 noon, and all post office on Saturdays close at 12 noon.
Yeah, ours does too. Ours is only open from like 10 to 12. I'm like, why are you only open for 2 hours? That's so weird. Oh my goodness.
Roxana says, Florida just announced what the parks need to do in order to open up in phases. Yep, they have. They've announced that, but we haven't heard anything of what the parks are how the parks are going to officially do that. So we will definitely all be keeping our ears to the ground on that.
They'll probably have more restrictions than what the state of Florida is recommending.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely imagine that. And I think they'll open Disney Springs before they open anything else. Mainly because there's stores there, and some of those stores are probably already opening because they are not Disney licensed stores. Because just like they closed after the fact, that Disney's like, all Disney related stuff's closed, and then you had a couple still open.
Right.
is so cold in here. Oh my gosh.
I feel
Where
so
did
bad for
Val
Christy.
go?
I don't know.
It is. I'm sitting here complaining about it being cold, but I'm so thankful that we now have an air conditioning. Oh, you just posted a picture. That's so cute. Your picture on Instagram. I love it.
I have actually only worn this hat once. I got it in 2015. Because Oklahoma City is about a 3-hour drive from us, and they have a Disney outlet. And so we went down there, and it was that twice upon a year sale where they have additional amount of X off clearance. And this was actually a hat that had been at the beach club. You can see the little Mickey on it. And it was, I think I paid like $10 for it, and I wore it that day, and it has been sitting on the mirror of my dresser for like 5 years. So Sam took it to the car wash and literally vacuumed it with a car wash vacuum because it was so dusty and dirty. Pretty soon they're going to be left with me, Christy, if your internet
I know.
stonks out.
I was like, I just posted a message there for you too. I was like, wait, I'm frozen again. You should have seen last night on spilling the Disney tea. I froze multiple times. It was ridiculous.
How did that? We were having a date night. So how did that go last night?
It was so good. It was so fun. We had so many people show up. If you guys haven't watched it, you should go back and watch it. So it was Dean from the Live Place birthday. It's also Doug from PTV's birthday yesterday. So on Spilling the Disney Tea, we had Dean, and we did a surprise for him and invited multiple people in. So people would rotate because you can only have 6. We had, who all did we have? We had Al from your pal Al. Of course, Dean was there the whole time. Fuzz. We had Steve from Steve's World, Walt from Mickey, Mouse Talk. I was trying to say Mickey Views, totally different ones.
Two different people there, Christy.
Yeah, I know. We had Doug and Arnie and Ben from PTV. Who else do we have? I feel like I know I'm leaving people out. We had Meg from Mickey's Magic.
Did you have Jeff from Dole Whip Dad? Because I see.
Yeah, Jeff from Dole Whip Dad. Jim from More Sunshine Please. Who else? I know I'm missing somebody.
We had on the stream last night.
Hi.
We had like a revolving door all night long, and then you had me hopping out, hopping back in, and it was so funny because at least I can hear both of you, because last night, for whatever reason, at one point I couldn't hear Dean, so I was pulling it up on my phone and listening through my ear, through my phone, and there was a delay. And then Dole Whip Dad asked me a question, and I think it was Arnie. Somebody was like, "I don't think Christy can hear you." I was like, "Oh, I can hear. It's just on a delay because I'm actually in the live stream listening to your voice, where I'm in the stream yards listening to everybody else's voice."
That is too funny.
So my whole computer just crashed. I have like a 6-year-old computer, a Mac. I think it's time to upgrade. And it just crashes when it's at like 40%. So I'm back. Sorry.
That's all right. We were wondering. Then you leave, and then Christy freezes, and I'm like, "Oh, Lordy B, they're going to be stuck with me yabbering on about some random thing." They can post that on my own channel.
So
yeah. I've also invited all of the Spilling the Disney Tea girls to this stream. So if they get a chance, they'll come in. And Al from your pal Al. I don't see anyone backstage yet, but
that's barely us.
I mean, anyone wants to invite, if either of you want to invite anyone else in, you can share the link and we'll just rotate people too.
Hey, everybody.
I enjoyed our Insta story war yesterday, Christy, like you would not believe. It made my day.
I thought it. You're like, okay, I'm done.
I was
I
getting
did
ready
that
to go
with
cook lunch. I was like, all right, I concede.
I did that with Diz Jabber 71. He is Christian, and he was not. He kept going and going. I was like, our little icon, like our original message, was like this big. I'm like, I can't even see it anymore. What's the point?
I know. And then I actually got a message from my Disney Tea Party who created that little Insta story, and she said, "Thank you for sharing." And I'm like, Christy Squad and I had a tag war, and she said that she saw it and she made her laugh. And so I'm like, I'm so glad that it made her day. I'm like, that's so cool that like she saw this Insta story war that we were having.
Yeah. I do try to do that. I've created some of those tags before, and I put like created by down at the bottom. Usually when I repost those, I try to tag the person that created it. I don't always remember, but I try to.
The only reason that I remember too is because I saw yours where you tagged me, and I'm like, oh, that's right. I need to tag the creator of that. That way, because I made one, and I think one person did it, and I was like, it wasn't a time period where everyone was creating them because of the quarantine. So
you're getting me into more technology. Christy dragged me into Instagram so I could do swaps, and now I'm on Instagram all the time. And I was a devoted Facebook person, and that was about it. And now I'm like, okay, got to do this, got to do that. But
I've been sucked into TikTok.
TikTok?
I posted one. Yeah, TikTok. Let me see if I can find me. Yep.
Christy is becoming the TikTok queen.
My son sends me
I didn't post this
all the time, but I've never posted anything.
Oh wait, I can't play the music, can I? Nope.
Why can't you?
Can't play the music. Let me put it on mute and then show you the video.
Is that another copyright thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can get pinged for sharing someone else's video on your stream.
It's so complicated. Oh, lovely. Nice scarfage.
It was going in reverse, so it looked really cool. But yeah, you have to give credit to anyone's video share. Like, say if I were to pull up Steve's World video and share it, I would need to give him credit in the description and verbally.
Yep.
That's kind of like if you look at the description, any of my videos, I put down all the equipment that I use for anything. Even if I didn't use it for said video, I still list it so I don't forget. Because if you're using a Sony camera and they find out you used their camera and you didn't give them credit, you can get in trouble.
I don't understand, because you bought the Sony camera. Do you know what I mean? And the camera's not on camera. The camera's behind the camera. I don't.
A lot of people want to know, like, especially if they're just getting into YouTube, like they want to know like their favorite creators, like what they use. And so a lot of creators do that anyway, just because that way because it's probably a Q&A question they get 500 times a day. And so they just have started putting it in their description. Me, I do everything with my S10. I video, I edit, I make my intros. Everything is done right here.
I even list the editing tools I use in the description of every video. I've got it in a little template, a notepad on my Mac. Yeah. I just copy and paste it in there.
Copy paste. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Roxana, if your Instagram is bugging out on you, I bet your Facebook is as well, because their Instagram and Facebook are owned by the same company. Instagram's owned by Facebook now.
Instagram was messing up for me yesterday, and I just restarted my phone. It was working. I don't know. Maybe that's it.
I never turn off my phone. I'm one of those people who my phone turns off when I get on an airplane. That's about the only time. So
I think it's just the three of us in there, because there's only 3 people watching right now. Is anyone in there? So it's not one of me. It's not me.
Yeah, we're not getting any more comments.
It's probably just life with Roxana in there. It's okay. It doesn't matter.
That's okay. Hey, Roxana.
I did share it. I did
Okay,
share it out.
When I look at my, like the thumbnail for like you're in the show, if I look at it just right, I kind of look like Kate Winslet from the Titanic, you know, with that hat that she has at the very beginning of the movie when like you see her do this. That's what I feel like at the moment.
I love that
Yeah.
hat.
Well, hey,
I
Carol.
actually used to have a hat, and I think one of the dogs ate it. The dogs eat everything.
I had this amazing witch's hat, and I was going to take my witch's hat and like repurpose the decorations and, you know, kind of be the good witch with flowers all over it. And I couldn't find it anywhere. But this is my friend Laura's. I just texted her because she's kind of a hat queen. I'm like, is there a hat you can leave on your porch and I can pick up? So
you just reminded me of something in that email that they did mention, the Disney email that we talked about earlier. They said that you cannot take any of our products and construct it and reconstruct it to your own. And I've seen people do that. Like some of the like guys that want to wear ears, they'll take mini ears and remove the bow to make them Mickey ears. And I think even Cargo has taken Mickey ears and deconstructed them and reconstructed them.
She's done it to change the headband piece because she said the headband, like if you've ever bought a pair of ears in the parks, like they hurt like right down here. And so I know she's kind of redid, like I think she did a video on how to actually do that. If I remember correctly, I think it was like a pair of Christmas ears because she was sad because it had on the edge of the band like Christmas 2019 or something, and she's like, "Oh, I won't be able to save that part."
Let me see if I can find the exact wording on that because I did read that part and I was like, "Oh crap!"
It bothers me whenever they're like crushing our creativity, you know, because it's not just we want to do more than be creative consumers. We also want to be creative producers. And if we're producing and, you know, even the people with 10,000 viewers, what are they making on YouTube? Like maybe enough to go get a bippity boppity box for the month. Do you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Unless you're in that millions of viewers, you're not making a living off of what you're doing. And so I almost feel like there should be a monetary cap on some of this stuff. Like, okay, if you're making more than
see that's kind of some of the changes that happened with the whole COPA thing towards the beginning of the year. You had a lot of like, and that's why you had to designate your channel. Is it for kids or is it not for kids or all that is because some of these kid channels, like these kids were unboxing and playing with toys. They were actually making millions of dollars a year. Ryan is making, and that was after YouTube took their cut.
Right, Ryan's making 12 million or something, but you know,
for opening a toy. I can open a toy, and nobody's gonna care because I keep losing subscribers. I don't gain them. I keep losing.
Here's what it says for user-generated content. The
Okay.
Disney products may ask for or allow you to communicate, submit, upload, or otherwise make available text, images, audio, video content, entries, or other content, user-generated content, which may be accessible and viewable by the public. Access to these features may be subject to age restrictions. Makes sense. Whether a Disney product made available by us or in connection with Disney product appears on a website, service, and or platform, or integrated with a third-party website, service, application, and or platform, you may not submit or upload user-generated content that is harassing, threatening, hateful, violent, vulgar, obscene, pornographic, or otherwise offensive, or that harms or can reasonably be expected to harm any person or entity, whether or not such material is protected by law. Then they have another paragraph that says, in most instances, we do not claim ownership of your user-generated content. However, you grant us a non-exclusive, sub-licensable, royalty-free worldwide license under all copyright, patents, trade secrets, privacy, city rights, and other intellectual property rights for the full duration of those rights to use, reproduce, retransmit, print, publish, publicly display, exhibit, distribute, copy, index, content, comment on, modify, transform, adapt, translate, create works based upon publicly form, publicly communicate, make available, and otherwise in whole, in part of all the media formats. So they're just saying, hey, if you create something that is Disney, it's like Disney ears, we have to reproduce it, and you don't get any rights to it.
Right.
That's all it's saying.
Christy, would you
Yeah.
forward that to me on the email? It's just singerfamilyadventures@gmail.com.
Yep.
Thank you. Yeah, that last paragraph sounds like the one that's most pertinent to sort of your average small scale creator, you know?
I think,
And
also,
it's a huge file.
Oh,
yeah, it's a huge file. I also think that, like, people, I think, like, some channels, like, it's a lot on Twitch, I think. But, like, they'll show, like, a video of them playing a game. I think people were playing Emoji Blitz and on, like, for their, as, like, content on their channel. And according to what I'm reading on here, you can't do that now. Even though it's not owned by Disney, it's owned by Jam City now. The way I'm reading it, you can't do that either. You can't play Emoji Blitz on.
oh, we lost her. You can't play
Yeah,
Emoji Blitz on ...
Yeah, she froze for a second. I thought it was me.
No,
I was like,
Emoji
oh
got
crap, froze again. There she is.
Probably me.
I'm actually.
My internet keeps giving me a little, hey, your low bandwidth signal.
Mine too.
Everybody get off my internet.
Get off the internet so we can stream. I'm going to go just a minute. I need to go use the bathroom.
I actually have to go to a real estate showing in a little bit, but
Okay.
I'm to the bathroom, huh? So I got about 5 more minutes. Yeah. So Lena, do you have an Etsy shop or anything like that, or no? You just craft for fun?
No, I don't. I just do it for fun. I'm not that good. I am not good.
You're probably better
can't
than
do
I
that.
am. I'm like, don't really craft, but you know, I just appreciate other people's stuff. So, yeah. I joined the Siskateers. You know how they're doing Ear of the Month, an Ear of the Month thing. I joined for July and then a good bit of the rest of the year, but they said if I wanted to, I could buy Etsy ears instead of, you know, making my own. So I'm going to try to make some for my person, but if it's a horrible, ugly fail, Etsy, you know, because
I get that.
You don't want to send something to somebody that you really don't know, and it's the kind of creative product that they're supposed to be happy about if it were given to them by their kindergartner. You know what I mean? Not something they'd want to buy off a shelf anyway. So, yeah.
Right. I get that. I'm glad that they kind of changed a little bit of the rules then. I was going to be doing it, but with everything that happened in December, I tried to make my own ears. They don't look pretty. Yeah. So yeah, I'm working on some other ears to send out. And Roxana does have Life with Roxana has some very good DIY ear videos. Do you feel better now, Christy?
Yes. Note to self, next time go downstairs to use the bathroom and don't use the kids' bathroom.
You switched up your ears. So I have to actually head out and go show a house, show a new listing. But I've really enjoyed this. Thank you, Christy, for putting it together. But
Thanks for coming. It's been so fun. And we'll continue. If Roxana, ping me on Instagram if you want to hop in.
bye,
I know you're
y'all. Happy
she's
Derby
going live
Day.
tonight. Bye, Val.
Happy
Bye,
Derby
Val.
Day. All
Happy
right.
Derby Day. So did you make your YouTube ears, Christy?
I did not. So there's a company that I've used for custom made ears, which those are custom made. And then the ones right above it, which are the Ravenclaw ones. Her name's
I
Lay
look
Bennett.
like this. I hunched down like I could see under.
They're by Lay Bennett, and when I ordered the Ravenclaw ones, I didn't tell her I was a YouTuber. She just made these, sent them to me, so she already knew. And I guess it's because I've ordered from her so much. I've done custom ones. This is a custom pair that she made for me too.
Oh, those are cute.
They're green arrow, and the only downside is that it's really dark, so it's hard to see. But there's no these, which she now sells on her shop, flash ears. And then I have several other pairs that she made. She made this pair, but those were the custom ones. These aren't custom.
Stitch.
Yeah, the Stitch ones aren't custom.
Stitch is like your kid. You love Stitch.
I do.
We're not paying any attention to Cynthia. She is sad.
Oh no. Cynthia says she's on the hunt for coffee, is what she said. Sorry. I do need to pay more attention to chat. Loki is being very vocal. Yes, Roxana. Loki is always very vocal, especially if there's people outside. When I'm on a conference call with work, I always have to mute myself. And anytime I go to talk, they're like, "We can't hear you. We just hear the dog." I'm like, crap. So I end up having to put him in his crate, and Luna too. We have to separate him. We have gates in our kitchen, and like one's in one room, one's in the other, just like separating kids. It's crazy. You found a post office open? That's good. I hate that.
Glad.
12. I didn't even go. I haven't checked my PO box since I checked it Monday. I guess that's okay. I don't ever get anything unless I usually don't check it when someone says they're sending me something.
Yeah, Sam and I talked about getting a PO box for me, but I get so little mail, like specifically to the channel, that I just use our regular home address.
I mean,
I figure it's
$60 a month here, or not a month, every 6 months. So it's $10 a month.
Oh.
That's kind of high, but I did it because when I first got it, I was doing all these pin trades with Facebook on like Facebook pin trading. And I didn't want to give all these random people my home address. So that was the original intent, rather it being for the channel. But I went ahead and put my channel name on it anyway, and did it that way. But yeah, I don't get nearly as much as what some people get. And I don't advertise it really either. I have it in the description of all my videos, but I don't say, hey, I have a PO box, send me a postcard, which I love getting postcards. I'm definitely a postcard person. And it's cheaper to send postcards than anything. They're cheaper than letters.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, with Sam being prior service, our information is just out there anyway, and so it's one of those things where, yeah, if ISIS knows where I live, it's okay if everybody else in the world knows where I live too. So
Well, if you own a home, then
we rent.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, if you own a home, you're out there too.
It's public knowledge anyway.
You can just Google the freaking person's name and find out their home address, their cell phone number, all that crap. I'm like, that's not good. Public knowledge, definitely. But
no, we rent. But it's one of those things where, you hear on the news like about, something's been hacked with, and all this information has been compromised. Yeah, we're on that list. We get a letter every couple of years. Yeah, we know. File 13.
Yeah.
Street Explorers, hello.
Hi.
JLS Fire Gaming, hello. Kelly is back in between calls.
She's working from home.
She is. I know you said that you drink just a little bit of moonshine, but you should check out, it's in Colorado Springs. It's actually in Manitou. It's called 360 Days of Shine. It is run by actually an old Army buddy of ours. He started it after getting out of active duty, and we were not getting to test moonshine while he was still on active duty. We were not getting stuff dropped off at the house. We did not get to be taste testers.
So really the only time do any kind of moonshine. So I did buy moonshine last time I was in Gatlinburg. I bought the buttercream, which was on that video. But that's really the only time I ever do moonshine is when I go there and we do the taste testing. It's like $10 to taste test, but they're not supposed to. There's the thing behind that. You're not supposed to give people free any alcohol, but you're not supposed to charge them for taste testing. So what they do is they charge you $10 for taste testing and give that put a wristband on you and say, hey, this is to give you $10 off a purchase.
It's like in-store credit.
Yeah. So,
I see when we go to Branson, because Branson is about 6 hours from us, we go to, it's called Curling Vine Winery, and they actually do free taste testings. I mean, it's like, you know.
It's a tiny amount.
It's tiny bit. But like you taste test like 2 or 3 of their whites, 2 or 3 of their reds, 2 or 3 of their rosés. You're probably right on.
You froze. Or I froze. One of us froze. Ray of sunshine and pocket full of sunshine. That's adorable. Or Rachel, sorry. I think you did freeze. Can you guys still hear me? Say yes if you can hear me. I think you can. I'm not positive. Hopefully. Yeah, Lena's frozen. So I'm still here. Okay. When she gets back, she can go on with that, what she's saying. But I thought I would, if you guys are interested in, and she's gone. If you guys are interested in hearing more about what Disney's terms of service is, I'll read a little bit more on that. All it really says is creators are subject to review by them is pretty much what it's saying. You hear Loki? I know. God, Loki's so loud. You can't hear me. What do you mean, no, you can't hear me? Surely you can. Well, here, since Lena's gone and you guys seem to have a trouble hearing me and Val's gone, I'll just end the stream. It was almost an hour long, and maybe later we'll come back on. Not during Roxana's stream because I don't want to take away from her stream, but maybe later on. So I'm just going to say bye for now. I hope you guys are having a good Saturday, and we'll see you soon. Bye.